Welcome to the Record Roundup. Hi, I'm DJ John out of Boston, and we're here with the crew tonight, and we're going to do our half hour of Record Roundup to talk about some groups and some artists and things you might find interesting. But before we get started, I want to say thanks to our sponsor, DJ Event Planner. You can find their information down in the explanation of the video. Please look for them and all our other sponsors that help keep channels on the air, so that we can continue to be here every week and have some fun with each other, because we're having fun. We just taped an hour show, Brian's and Jay's music show. So now we get a chance to talk about some artists and groups that we like and bring them to the forefront. So you can take this information, take it to yourself, and figure out what songs you might like out of this. If something you haven't heard before, go buy the song, play the song, and maybe you can use some of these. So hello, everyone. Welcome, panel. Nice to see you guys here tonight. I'd like to say hi to the ones that are here on screen. That is going to be DJ Eric out of New Hampshire. We've got DJ Kevin with us tonight. Hello. DJ J is here. BSR is here with us tonight. Nice to see you guys. Tom and Ken in the wings, just kind of checking us out as we record. So hello and welcome, everybody. I'll lead us off. This group that I had picked didn't really have a very long lifespan. They started off as the Baseball Boys, and
from the Warriors.
Their management decided
Baseball Furies or Flurries.
Baseball Boys.
I was in the park.
You are in the park, but where you are not is in the outfield, because that's what they renamed themselves as. So the Baseball Boys got rebranded, remerged, and if you are not playing Your Love at every single event, if not every other, you should be. So 86 was the debut record. Play Deep, again, another baseball reference. These guys were pretty big on the sports thing, right?
That was the name of the album.
That was the name of the album. John Spinks, Tony Lewis, lead singer, Alan Jackman. Two big singles, Your Love, and of course, all the Love in the World. You should have that too. Those are two of the biggies. Pretty much from 85, 86 till about 90. Sadly, the lead singer just passed away, so there's not going to be any reunion tours. But if you aren't playing Your Love, or if you don't recognize it by its title, you should. It's pretty much up there as one of those anthemic rock 80s songs that would be up there with My Sharona the Knack, or Working for the Weekend, Lover Boy. It's just one of those songs you have to have. There's a lot of energy in it. It does sound very 80s, but the lead singer had quite, a little bit of a high voice.
Very
cuts through. Yeah, he sings way up there. And it was kind of good. It's a hard song to karaoke. Eric, you can attest if anyone in
I can't even do it. So go ahead.
Don't.
Yeah. Jesse's on a vacation far away.
Yeah, I can't.
Come on in. Let's talk it over. And so the whole premise of the song, it probably might not be something you play at a wedding. It's kind of that.
I do.
England Dan John Ford Coley thing.
No,
I
played a wedding. It's a big sing-along. It's a huge sing-along.
Great.
Yes.
It is, but read the lyrics.
I would consider it a group active song.
It is definitely group active.
Absolutely.
I play it when I play Gary Glitter.
That song.
Gary Glitter.
Gary Glitter and the Outfield, side by side.
The one that's I always kind of associated it with, that came out around the same time, and the same people who like Your Love like this song too, who were there. And I'm not talking about the kids like the song now. Like, young people know it and they'll sing along to it like very loudly when they're drinking, especially the chorus. But the other one that I never played it until last year. Somebody requested it, so I grabbed it, and I played it a couple times, and it's gone over very well, is the Hooters and We Danced.
Oh, I love that song.
Kind of go along with Your Love pretty well.
That was a great opening album.
That's
from
a
the Hooters
great
too.
song.
Don't Take My Car Out Tonight, and We Dance Day by Day.
All the Love in the World, was that the Outfield, or was that?
That's Outfield. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Zombies' big thing was all you zombies. The Hooters was all you zombies, and We Danced.
And We Dance Day by
Love
Day.
that song.
Day by Day. That's the one I was thinking of. That's the one I liked. But nobody's ever asked for Day by Day.
What are they? They're it's Pittsburgh, Philly. Hooters. They're one of the two. It's either Pittsburgh or Philly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That was a good movement of energy and this kind of rock before everything became, hair bands and got strange. So that's my pick for
Pop rock.
Week.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
Outfield and go ahead, Jay.
I was just going to say Morgan Page did a remix of the Outfield, Your Love, about probably 5 or 6 years ago. And I think it got it back on, right? Because you get the remix that people don't know the original. Then they go to a wedding or something and the DJ plays the original. Like, oh, I love this song.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Oh, for sure. For me in Boston, it was like right when V66 was coming on. MTV existed, but the local channels wanted something to compete with music videos. So we had videos from the Outfield, Honeymoon Suite, Canadian band.
Love them.
X-Dream, otherwise known as Extreme.
Extreme.
We got Mother Don't Want to go to School Today. And that was just kind of the other free video station that you could watch. And we would get a lot of stuff like this. So that's my pick. Go look for the Outfield and check them out if you don't know them already. So let's go to DJ Eric and see what Eric's got for a pick for us this week.
I'm going to have to ask Brian to shut his speaker off while I do mine, because he is the Wikipedia, of music.
Is that like Wikipedia?
Yeah, I don't want him to guess this.
Wikipedia.
Right.
We're all kind of good at this, but we'll see. We'll let you have your minute.
Jeez, come on, tough guy.
Jay, did I say
balmy 30 below zero where you live right now? Come on.
China, we got snow coming this week.
Wikipedia wrong, Jay?
I think it's Wikipedia, not Wokepedia, but actually Wikipedia sounds really good.
Probably exists somewhere too. So
yeah,
we here in New Hampshire always had the L, so just bear with me.
You live free or die. We get it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this guy was born July 19. I'll give you the date, July 31st, 1943. Oh. Now, bear with me.
So you babysat for him?
Hey, no, I liked his sister. But
drove the school bus.
His name, and this is where I got to tell Brian to shut up, because he may get this right away. His real name was Roland Kent Lavoie. Anything, Brian?
Oh, he's got it.
I'm not supposed to talk.
He's
all right.
He's involuntarily muted, so please continue.
I will continue. His stage name was a Spanish word for wolf. Anybody?
Lobo?
Oh, my God, you're good, John.
Los Lobos is the wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lobo. Okay, so...
Okay.
I liked a lot of Lobo stuff. Me and You and A Dog Named Boo. I Love You to Want Me. Don't Expect Me to Be Your Friend.
We're all looking at each other like, what is he talking about? Because I had no clue this was a guy named Lobo.
It's Lobo.
The songs.
Lobo. Baby,
Lobo.
I love you to want me.
That's Lobo. Songs,
yeah. Lobo.
Yeah.
Me and You and A Dog Named Boo.
That was Heine's jam. He loved that song. It brings back memories just talking about
I thought that was like Three Dog Night or Blood, Sweat, and Tears or something.
No, Lobo.
No, that was Lobo. Wow. And I Love You to Want Me went to
That's a great track.
That is an awesome track.
That went to number 2 on the charts. I Love You to Want Me. And I just thought it was like, Don't Expect Me to Be Your Friend. If you never heard it, play it, Lobo. That went to number 8. That went to number 8 on the Billboard charts. But I mean, this guy's been around a long time. And
is he a guy or a group? Is Lobo the man?
One guy, Lobo.
He's the guy, and he just went by Lobo.
Yeah, it's like Sammy Johns or whatever, kind of the same sort of thing.
Sammy Johns isn't plural. There's only
Chevy
one.
Band.
Yeah.
He actually had a greatest hits album released in 1990, if you can believe that. And all these songs that I'm telling you are on this album.
Wow.
He had 7 top 40 100 Billboard songs, And,
the top 40 gave it away. It broke 100.
Well,
the Me and You and A Dog Named Boo was like that was like song from growing up.
Was that from a movie or something?
Let me clear it up. He had 13 in the top 25 on the
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment.
That's more than I think I know from Lobo. I think I've got 4
I've
songs.
got 2, maybe 3.
And in the top 10, he had 4. I'm just saying. So maybe you should look this Lobo up. You know,
I remembered that song
and
for some dumb reason. I remember the Brady Bunch cartoon that was on in Saturday mornings once. Way.
I was 23 then, so no.
Yeah, they would have a musical number
Alice
at the end of
wasn't
it with
around.
the Brady kids, and they did Me and You and a Dog Named Boo when it was popular.
Oh, wow.
I remember
Wow.
that,
You have licensing and they cover that on the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I think I was 2 years old.
And I Love You, We're Free Men, and that's when they did the handshake thing. That was the thing on the video they made. So I just remember that. I don't know why I do, but I do.
wow. Interesting point of reference, but you got it. You get a timestamp on that. You know exactly where you were and when you saw it.
It's amazing how music brings up memories.
Pretty neat.
It is. Right.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about, the record roundup. You may or may not like my choice, which is
I
fine.
like your choice.
I've learned from your choice because I couldn't, if you'd said who does this song, Lobo was not on my radar.
Jay, you're not alone. I thought it was Three Dog Night for the longest time.
There are certain songs from the 70s that I always just go, oh,
it's
Blood, Sweat, and Tears,
Shambhala
Three Dog
2.0.
Night.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah.
Sha Na maybe did a cover,
I thought Steely Dan's Dirty Work was Crosby, Stills, and Nash for the longest time.
and that totally makes sense.
It does.
Good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
We couldn't
totally makes sense.
Shazam
Really?
anything back then. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
like, this sounds just like this Beth songs, and then you hear Into the Night, Benny Mardones. I'm like, oh, that's got to be the same cat, right? Because it sounds like the same singer, right? Like,
Vehicle Ides of March is some weird Blood, Sweat, and Tears song. I don't know. It's just,
Yeah, right. But that was like a one and done, right? I mean,
yeah.
Who's the Gino guy that I always confuse with other artists?
Gino Vanelli?
Vanelli?
Gino Vanelli?
Is it Vanelli that had that, not Come to Me, but he had a song like Come to Me?
Yeah, Living something.
I Just Want to Stop.
Inside Myself.
People
Living
Gotta
Inside
Move.
Myself, yeah.
sure.
So the
Okay,
one,
then it's another artist.
Black
Or no, it's
Cars, Black
Sergio Mendez, I think I'm thinking.
Sergio Mendez is a
that I-
producer.
But he's credited with a big track from the 80s that was a
The
ballad.
James Ingram.
The
James
complicated
Ingram.
chord structure one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my
So I only
God.
knew it as a Sergio Mendez.
If ever you're in my arms again.
No.
Never Gonna Let You Go.
Never gonna let you go.
Same
Never
kind
gonna
of
let
song.
you go.
Same kind of song. Absolutely.
Yes, like it's not credited. The singers' names are there somewhere, but they're in small print. Like to me, that was Sergio Mendez.
It's
It's
interesting
just
you
like-
say that because
It's just like Just
wait.
Once, Quincy Jones.
Can you name the two singers or no?
I don't remember who they are.
But that's what I mean. Like, so for me, it was like, oh, that's Sergio Mendez.
Yeah, but that was his album. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But they named the band. That's like, oh, by the way, which one's Pink? Like, we don't have anyone named. There's no
Yeah,
Pink Floyd
there's
in
no
the band.
Pink.
That's just who we are.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
welcome to the
Brian. I
machine.
think you got a cue here, right?
Yeah.
I
kinda.
think you do.
You're setting it up. You're setting it up for
You're
the
setting
big
it up.
swing. You're
I
setting
am
it up.
Blowing
You're
it.
doing that.
Thank you for that. But yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all,
Whatever.
It's all
I
good
kept my
here
mouth
among
shut for
friends.
your stuff.
What do you got? What do you got? What do you
We
got?
got Kevin. Let's see what Kevin's going to bring for us for a record to the roundup this week.
I apologize.
The 45, I'll say, that I have chosen is based on last week's discussion of listening to some of the songs we were doing after the show, and it sort of clicked in my head. It's like, oh, I remember that song. It was a one-hit wonder by a gentleman that was in the TV show that it was used in. It was considered a disco towards the end of the disco era. And the song I've chosen, the back side has the instrumental of it, and the front side is called Making It by David Naughton.
Oh, my
Yes.
God,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And the backside was blank because he had nothing.
Well,
You
It's
know,
instrumental.
what do you know about David Naughton?
I know about a werewolf. Do you know about a werewolf?
He was that guy.
He was that guy.
He was that guy. He was
The actor. Yeah.
Well, he
American
was
Werewolf in
also
London.
his favorite soft drink, I believe, was Dr. Pepper.
oh,
Because
I will
Barry
say
Manilow wrote the jingle and he sings it.
Yes. In the commercial.
I'm a pepper, you're a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? And he's got the shirt with the vest on,
Yeah.
which I famously brought back into style about 6 years ago.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, the things I remember, but I don't,
Proud
you know,
of you.
I don't know where my car keys are. But
Proud of you.
No, that T-shirt would have been like $8 back in the day. Now it's like
Oh.
$36.99 on like Wish or something. You can get that.
seriously,
the whole thing.
Should go check Temu on that.
I don't think I got David Naughton for anything else. Naughton.
I don't
No,
think
making
he
it-
had.
making it
Making it.
tracks.
That was making it was the track, and it's kind of had that like Saturday Night Fever swag. It was like I almost for a second thought it was John Travolta. Like, was this an escapee song from Saturday Night Fever or something?
For
Got
bonus
that.
points, what movie was it featured in?
Meatballs.
Oh,
Making it.
cruising.
Kevin got it. He did his research. It was in Meatballs with
Oh,
with
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Okay.
Wow.
But I don't want to play with you anymore.
I think I saw David Naughton open up for David Soul on the David tour.
David and
Yeah.
David.
They couldn't get David Bowie.
They
It
just
was-
played 2 songs, but it was
At the Very Berry tour.
Yeah.
What was the David Soul track?
Oh, jeez, I just
Don't
played
give
that.
up on us, baby.
There you go. Don't give up on us, baby.
And then, like 5 years later, it comes out that he like beat his wife and stuff. It's like, Jesus, dude, come on, really?
No, that was Glasser, wasn't it? That was the other guy. That was the other one. from-
Glazier. No, his wife died of cancer. Again, things I know that just take up space when I could know where my car keys are.
What was the wife that wouldn't eat the soup? I forget that one. Come on, Jay.
The wife that wouldn't eat the soup.
Yeah, she wouldn't eat the soup.
What, like in Misery or like I have no clue what you're talking about.
Oh, cut it out. Move on, John.
All right. Well, we'll ponder that, or you guys can Google that at home and put the answer in the chat.
Yeah.
Would appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Jay, you want to give us your pick for the week?
You know what? I was going to give you an album. I'm going to give you a song because it's one of my favorite tracks that, for the most part, every time I mention it to people, they've never heard of the band. They've never heard of the song. So I'm expecting this will come out of left field, but the importance for a DJ is, I see how I tie that up.
Ah, it's
The
nice.
importance for a DJ is that if you ever get people from the Netherlands, this band is really big in the Netherlands, but they never broke pretty much anywhere else. They broke in Europe to a certain extent. The band is called Raccoon. RACOON. But they have a track that I challenge you to go listen to called Love You More. And I think you'll agree with me that it is one of the most, it is literally a vocal with acoustic guitar. And I've seen video of these guys playing in front of like 50,000 people. Mm-hmm. Every single person is singing every single word of the song. So in their market, they're huge. And what's funny is Armin van Buuren did a techno remix of this probably about 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. I think the song came out in 2009. Okay. And they brought the lead singer from Raccoon out because he's famous in the Netherlands.
Gotcha.
And he sang the vocal line while Armin did the music aspect. And it actually got traction. And I think it, like we were talking earlier about, like the Outfield with Morgan Page, I think songs can have 2 lives. But these guys, I guess, are pretty big in the Netherlands. But the track Love You More by Raccoon, it's worth spending 3 minutes of your life going, there's no way this would ever have gotten on my radar. Mm-hmm. But it's a really pretty song. And I'll play it at weddings once in a blue moon just to throw in during kind of a love song set. And it always gets a, okay, who is that?
Yeah, how did I miss
Raccoon.
We get that a lot. You know, it's like, how did this get by us? Well, music was coming at us at a frantic pace, and it's
a one-hit wonder. You were never going to get this on your radar. I lucked out. I saw the video one night on, I think I was watching a Brian video, and then on the right side where they give the suggestions, it started going down one of those, click this video, now you go down this rabbit hole, and somehow Raccoon got brought up. Or no, it was the remix video came up. And I'm like, wow. And it referenced the track. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go check out the track. And just was flabbergasted how good it was.
Sure. But yeah, so acoustic guitar, solo vocalist. How old would you say that is? How far back?
I think it came out in 09, 08, 09.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it never would have made our radar. Never.
That's just before like the height of, YouTube and Spotify. Like it wouldn't have been a recommended.
What's YouTube? 2006?
Yeah,
probably.
They didn't really have the recommendations early on. It was like,
no,
what you were looking for,
but they do have a video for it. They have like a long video and then just the regular song. But seeing them do it live, the band's really good. But again, most of their tracks are sung not in English. This one is all in English. And it's a beautiful song. And the few times I've had anyone from the Netherlands at an event and they mention the Netherlands, I throw it on and I get the biggest smile. You know, we've had that talk. Anytime you can play to people, you know, their sweet spot, it goes a long way in kind of creating a good vibe with people, because people want to know that you understand.
Right. You understand the nationality, the heritage, or the local
Right.
references. What are they singing from Netherlands? What are they singing out there in Dutch, French?
Dutch. I believe it's Dutch.
Okay.
I believe, yeah.
So one more time with title and artist so people can look it up, just because that's
So the band is Raccoon, Raccoon, just like the animal, Raccoon.
Yep.
And the song is Love You More.
Love You More.
Yeah.
Oh, great. We'll have to check that out after the show. So we'll play it.
Seriously.
We'll play it, and
I think you guys will really enjoy it.
Okay. Thank you, man.
When you say Van Buren, Martin don't come to head. My mind.
Armin.
Okay.
Armin.
Martin Van Buren, I believe, was a president.
Yeah. Armin van Helding is the DJ, right?
Yeah.
And, Martin Van Buren.
Martin Van Buren, I think, was the 12th president.
Yeah, still dead. Yeah,
still dead.
I was alive. I was alive back.
So yeah, that's you
Armin
probably
Van
voted
Buren.
for Martin Van Buren. Yeah, that's why the name sounds familiar. You probably had drinks with Martin Van Buren.
Right. And Van
Because you were old
Helsing,
enough
that's
to
a
vote.
vampire. That's somebody else. That's a whole
this-
different.
Back in 1812 or whenever he was
Now Eric's all broken up. He needs to
in
have
office.
a sip
You
for
didn't
Martin.
know Martin was dead?
No, it's brand new news, man. You got to tread softly on this.
By the way, not to
laid
freak
ground.
you out, Lincoln's dead too. So just if you want to mourn that loss as well.
What?
Better pour out a 16 ounce. Get it? See what I did there? 16th president. You know.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't
look at
do
you! Didn't
don't
do a 40.
Right? You didn't do a 40. He was only
No,
16.
you didn't want to. You didn't want to upset the balance of
Oh,
things.
I hate
That's a little
you
too
guys.
recent.
Thank you for setting that up. Eric's weeping.
I hate you
PSR,
guys.
we'd like to send it your way for.
And by the way, Eric, I was wrong. Martin Van Buren was the 8th president, not the 12th.
Okay.
Even still, yeah. Anyway, who's up?
Mattered.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's to somebody it did. To us, maybe not so much now. But anyway, BSR, floor is yours.
I was given a homework assignment by Sir Eric and John last
Absolutely.
night, and it's quite a steep one. And I'm not going to probably get an A+ on this one, but hopefully with the help of the room,
Of course you will.
we'll be able to nail it.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
we're
sorry,
doing-
when that's all the time we have this week. I'm really
Be sure to click our sponsor ad down below. Now, Brian's put some time into this. Let's
I've
give
put
him
some time
a,
into this.
Yeah,
So
no, we did like 2 hours of this last night. Now
I'm trying to remember this stuff.
Just recap.
As funny as the peanut gallery comments are, just give me a break for a minute on this one, because I'm trying to remember a lot of things.
There's a lot to remember.
I got a lot to remember because I brought somebody up and it was kind of dismissed as, oh, well, he did that. It's like, no, he did other things. And then we started going down the rabbit hole. It's like, oh my God, he
Right,
did
we're
everything.
all surprised, right? Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was surprised. I was surprised. They were surprised. Everybody was surprised.
Oh, wow.
So it's an artist spotlight, and I've tried to put together a nice presentation for you on this. And I'll give you a little teaser before I reveal who it is. Born the same year as my father, 1933,
Okay.
and
Ugh.
born in Chicago.
My mom was born in 1933.
Now you all
Studied-
go, like it's not going to be relevant, but wait till you see how relevant it is.
Studied music in Seattle, Boston,
Berkeley?
and Paris.
Berkeley.
And Paris.
Wow.
Yeah.
All over.
Traveled in an orchestra in the early 50s through Europe. Got a job at CBS in 56 and played second trumpet in the orchestra for Elvis's first 6 television appearances.
You guys are never going to guess this.
They probably will, but just let me just get
Just
I'm sorry.
keep feeling you.
I'm going to just give you the highlight reel.
Yeah.
Highlight reel.
Yeah.
Are we guessing first
1960.
names?
1960 was named the vice president of Mercury Records.
Oh, it's who I think it is then.
Worked with Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, Peggy Lee. And later on, a couple years later, he produced a couple of albums. Here's one of them. He did that one.
All right, now Jay's got it, right?
He did that one.
Well, I know who produced those. That's not who I was guessing. I was guessing Herb Albert.
Nope.
No,
Close.
so
Herb
and
Alpert
this
did
is
not
out
produce
Quincy
these albums.
Jones.
Oddly enough,
Yes.
though, Quincy Jones produced some Herb Alpert.
Well, I think he had a tie-in with A&M Records, didn't he? Because that was Herb Albert and
Yeah.
John Moss or Dick Moss.
I'm still doing my presentation and you're talking.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Shut up. Saying what?
Down in the peanut gallery. And Dangerous. Then.
Mr.
And
Quincy
history.
Jones, he had his hand in all of those. I thought maybe he had his hand in the first two, but I didn't realize he had his hand in all of them. He co-produced on Bad and Dangerous and History, not just Off the Wall.
Wow.
And
His
not
production,
just,
right. And remember
Yeah.
the time specifically we spotted on
yeah, remember the time he was co-producer on that?
co-producer.
The real interesting thing the first thing that I said when I was we were talking about producers,
Right.
and you've got producers like Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards who just walk into the studio and kind of say, "Get out of my way.
This is how it's going to sound.
This is how it's going to be." Quincy Jones doesn't do this. Quincy Jones goes in and says, "What do you got? Okay, let's work with that," and helps you realize your vision. And I had played some tracks, some demos before Quincy Jones got his hands on them of, was it Don't Stop Till You Get Enough?
Yeah.
What you got was very similar to what Michael Jackson put together at home. It was
Filled the
very
vision,
similar.
filled in the blanks, made it
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
Let me take what you've got and make it better. Now, the guy did tons of stuff. Tons and tons and tons of stuff. The earliest Quincy Jones thing that I can personally remember hearing in my lifetime is the Sanford and Son theme song, because that was him.
Nice.
Mhm.
And he also, of course, famously did the Soul Bossa Nova track. I think he did it in 1962, made famous in the Austin Powers films as the Austin Powers theme song. That's
Right.
Quincy Jones.
Mhm.
A lot of stuff this guy did. But, and he's a cool guy, like a really cool guy.
I heard he famously met the BSR.
He did.
at
Yes,
NAMM.
you had a moment with him. Yes.
This guy, he's 91 years old. He just turned 91. And I got 5 minutes of his life. And he couldn't have been kinder. It was one of those things where you walk in and it's like, okay, you maybe ask a question or two or say thank you. And he's like, no, hold on, sit down. So what's your name? What do you do? He's asking the questions. He really was interested. And we ended up having a conversation about how terrible the radio had gotten.
Yes.
And how bad radio programming was.
Did he not dismiss DJs? I can't remember if it was he didn't like DJs or he thought DJs were good.
No, he liked us.
He did.
liked
Okay.
DJs. He didn't like, he hated Clear Channel and he made that.
That
point.
was it. That was the thing he didn't like.
stuffy
That's the
program.
radio
Radio
talk,
conglomerates is what he was not happy
Yeah,
about.
he was not a fan of that.
He thought it was great. I was a DJ. And here's a really flattering picture of me and Quincy Jones here that I'll share with you, the class here, right there.
All right.
So, yeah, that was 2009. Now, the weird part about this was the picture that I took. I thought I was in a hurry. He was signing the book, and I was jumping out of his way. And that's when he told me to stop and sit down. And that's when we talked. And he really left an impression on me.
Yep.
And the weird part about this, kind of the surreal thing, to make a long story short, just a few days later, I'm no longer in California. And Obama is being inaugurated and sworn in as president. And to the left of the stage, there's a small bleacher of every prominent black person you can think of in America. So Aretha Franklin and Quincy Jones is there. It's like, wait a minute.
Didn't I just see him
I just
72
talked to
hours
this
ago?
guy
Yeah.
about whatever,
Yeah, 36
and
hours
he's
ago.
sitting
we were,
right there.
Yeah, and now he's here. Yep.
And
And they're probably
Then-
asking him, what's Brian like?
when the inauguration was over, every news outlet interviewed him. They didn't interview Harry Belafonte. They didn't interview Aretha Franklin. They interviewed him. It was surreal to see this guy you just talk to everybody who was
Yeah,
anybody.
every major news outlet.
Yeah.
Right? He's the one
Yeah.
they wanted.
That
He's
was
the one that'll give them a minute. Yep.
incredibly surreal. And
That's awesome.
I have this here. I still have the book. It's right here. And it's a very interesting book. It's got some neat stuff in it. If you thumb through it, there's great pictures, but there's also like some reproduction handwritten notes and things like that are like pop-ups in the book almost.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Didn't he write for the We Are the World? Wasn't it him that wrote
Michael Jackson
Leave Your Ego at the Door?
that was Lionel Richie who did that note.
Oh, he did the note, Leave Your Ego at the Door. Okay.
Yeah, so Quincy Jones produced that track. It was written by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie.
Right. But I know that Quincy was there, and he was not. So that was what, 30 years ago? 40 years ago?
Yeah.
95.
I think.
It was
I
that
just watched the
late?
documentary the other night.
I did too. I could have sworn it was like right after Do They Know It's Christmas, which was
like
mid
84.
80s.
Do They Know It's Christmas was first.
Yeah, but I thought that We Are the World was shortly thereafter. It had to be, no, it had to be 80s.
I'm going to say
That's what I say 80. I said like 85.
Oh,
you said 95.
Oh, I'm sorry, 85.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, but my point is, he was in his 50s and he was there for the duration.
86. Just so we have it.
86. You know, a lot of guys in their mid 50s would have a tough time producing that many superstars and hanging the whole night with them. But I know Quincy was there from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, he was kind of the puppet master for it. It was Harry Belafonte's idea. He presented it to Quincy Jones. And then Quincy Jones went to Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie, and several others and said, "Hey,
Merle Haggard,
do this." Yeah, well,
I haven't seen the documentary.
Yeah.
You know what the reference is.
No, but I understand why he walked out on that one.
I do too.
I probably would have too. It's like, you know what,
who'd you feel bad for in the documentary? Who got screwed in that whole thing? There's one person, and it's a woman, who genuinely was a patsy for that song. She's not on it.
I do not feel bad for her. I don't.
In respect to, she was there solely to draw your friend out of the darkness.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Is the woman who shall not be named?
No, talking about Sheila E.
I'm talking about Sheila E. And she felt that's why she's not in the video, because she's like,
Sheila E.
is
notoriously.
They only invited me to get Prince because they kept going to me saying,
"Do you know why she was invited?
When's Prince coming?" Yeah, but she says because she was with Prince.
No, she was invited because she had just performed at the American Music Awards.
Right, so that made sense. But she took it as
Lionel Richie was hosting and says, "Hey, we're doing this thing afterwards. You should come." It wasn't like she was invited months before. It was like, "Hey, guess what? We're doing this thing. You should come along." She was also, the end for Prince, but that's not why she was invited. I think for her to even assume
she took it that way.
But so she's stupid because she was there and she said everybody treated her right. And was respectful.
Yeah, but I think she's not.
They didn't write a part. They didn't write a part for her to sing. So why was?
No, it was an afterthought.
Unless she was going to sing.
She was an afterthought. You should come and join us. Obviously, in the chorus. Why would we have a singing part for you? The only person who got a singing part that didn't know they were going to get a singing part was Huey Lewis.
Yeah,
but everybody else knew what they were going to be doing. I mean, it was predetermined who the solo was for.
Right.
But no, I don't buy that Sheila E. stuff. She says a lot of things that bug me, and that rabbit hole thing is the Prince thing. But yeah, Quincy Jones, cool guy, did a lot of stuff. I mean, multi-instrumental, movie director, producer, musician, and calling back to Eric, we were talking about, was it Baby Come to Me? Was that the track?
Just once.
Oh, just once.
Ingram, yeah.
Just once. Eric said that's a Quincy Jones track. And I'm like, it's a James Ingram track. And we went round and round about it. Turns out I was wrong. That's James Ingram singing on it. It's Quincy Jones featuring James Ingram, much like what you guys were talking about before was
Sergio Mendes.
Yeah, same thing. It's on the album The Dude from like 1981.
Producer gets the name, the artists just appear. And
back then,
so
that was a thing.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last
David
time
Foster with bling, 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 bling.
Yeah. The last time I can remember that happening, like in big music,
Nick Kamen and blah, blah. And
like CNC Music Factory did that. Their producers,
Diana
Washington. Brought in Freedom Williams and everybody. But they weren't really part of the CNC Music Factory. They were just featured on the album. So, I mean, that used to happen. And that
it hasn't happened in a long time.
So anyway, the guy's 91 years old. And he has done movie scores, like tons of movie scores you don't even know he did. And he just did one for a movie that isn't even released yet.
Nice.
That was kind of
2024, still on fire. Look at that.
Lolita or something. He just did a movie score.
That's a good deep dive.
So anyway, that's there's more to Quincy Jones than Michael Jackson.
There was way more to Quincy.
I just scratched the surface. There's tons
That's
of
it.
stuff.
No, and we appreciate that, taking the time for the artist spotlight. And he is an artist, not just a producer or a name on a gold record on a wall. Like he goes way, way, way back. Then we tied him all the way back to Leslie Gore, right? It's My Party.
My Party, yes.
Isn't that Peggy Lee?
He did several of her songs. And the one thing that...
Well, he did it with Amy Winehouse. It's My Party. He produced that one.
What was Quincy the one Jones that he did way, way back?
But he produced Amy Winehouse, It's My Party.
I thought that was Mark Ronson.
It probably was.
Valerie. That's Mark Ronson, Valerie.
Well, Valerie is more like, yeah.
I always think of
It's My Party. Yeah, he did It's My Party. Lee. Jones produced all 4 million selling singles by Leslie Gore.
But it's
during the early mid 60s, including It's My Party. Its sequel, Judy's Turn to Cry.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. She's a Fool. You Don't Own Me.
Great song.
Sounds like Eric's high school dances right there, Brian. You're gonna get
Book of Love, Maybe I Know. Exactly.
Oh, Jay, exactly.
Shut up. Also, worth mentioning, real quick.
Side note.
He founded Quest Records. And what's interesting about the Quest Records did a lot of things, but I remember like all of my New Order stuff was Quest Records because Factory needed a U.S. distributor, and Quest was the distributor. Quest Records. That's Quincy Jones's label that he founded. And the last thing that I'll mention, just because it's just a fun fact, I didn't know this until I read it, but it makes sense. He's never driven a car, and he won't drive.
Are you kidding me?
Apparently, he was in an accident as a child. It scared him. So he was never interested in driving a car. He's never driven a car.
Huh.
Yeah, people got to drive him around.
That's a fun fact.
The opposite of John Madden.
Got to fly everywhere. Can't drive. They got to go to the grocery. Give me a plane.
Yeah. He's not afraid of being in a car. He just won't drive one. So he's never driven. And at 91, I don't think he's going to start today. So.
Him and 90% of the people that grew up in New York City.
Yeah. Well, but he did not grow up in New York City. He grew up in Chicago, saying South Side.
No, but see, I thought Amy Winehouse also did It's My Party.
She may have, and Quincy produced the original track, but I don't think he had much to do with the. I don't think
unless he has writing on it involved.
He's got a writing credit on it, yeah.
Then it might show up on the Amy Winehouse blurb, But we all know the Leslie Gore.
He may own publishing for it. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I very well be.
I can't confirm.
I like his daughter too. Rashada Jones, I think she's a good actress. I really enjoyed her in Parks and Rec. I thought she was a very good actress. I liked her character, and I liked her delivery on things. She seems like a good person. I like her. I'd like to see her in more things, but she was really good in that.
All right, super cool extra credit report, Brian. You get the extra gold stars on the show where all the votes count and the points don't matter. It's kind of like that thing.
Normally, I just pick stuff, but I was given an assignment, and so I had to.
Yeah, we were all fascinated. We didn't.
Sounds like you understood the assignment.
Yeah, it's just like we didn't realize how entrenched
there's a lot
to everything he's done.
Yeah,
most of us got wind of him between we've discovered him on Thriller, and then we figured out he did it off the wall, but we didn't know he had all this other stuff going on.
Yeah.
He was way back. Yeah.
I mean, think about that. He was personally involved with Elvis's, famous television appearances that introduced Elvis to the world. That's
who would have known that.
And he's a horn player, so he's a musician.
Yeah, he's a trumpet player.
Yeah,
multi-instrumental. It's super cool. Just fascinating. I learned more about Quincy. Yeah, I mean, I haven't crammed the book. I've scanned the book, but
we got the
just going through that stuff last night. Yeah. Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. Wow, just so many. That's very cool. And you get the photo with them, which is awesome too. So, and thank you for sharing that. And to all the classmates and everyone that comes to every week to learn something about records and the Record Roundup, we want to say thank you all for watching, and we'll be back again soon. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next trip. Good night, everybody.